Hey, stop the cap, stop the cap. What's up, guys? It's Stop Capping, and this is another long overdue review for a video game. Now, today, we're going to do one of my favorites from a manga and an anime. Not so much the game itself, because, I'll get to that in a minute, but is based on the heroic legend of Arslan from Himuro Arakawa's, the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, and it's a pretty good adaptation of this, of the anime. I was really surprised that they made a video game based on this. The game is based on episodes 1 to 25. And, even though there's no multiple seasons, kind of like how Demon Slayer is, a really hot anime right now, or something that is lengthy as Attack on Titan. In my opinion, if they're going to do a video game based on this anime, on this remake of the original anime, they should have just done the version of the Seven Deadly Sins game that was released on the PS4 a while back, instead of doing a Warriors game. I think a co-op or just a single action adventure game would have sufficed, like a more beat 'em up game instead of a hack and slash of a Warriors game would have been better. I think, in my opinion, if you had one of these characters as a guest character in the Warriors Orochi game, or Musu All Stars, that was also another game that I recently beaten last year. I think it would have done a better job. Now, this game came out in 2015 in Japan. It didn't come to North America until February 9th, 2016, and then a few days later in Europe. But no one cares about that. But yeah, of course, the reception was pretty poor. Even if Famitsu, they usually kinder because it's its own Japanese game. It had a 32 out of 40 score. GameSpot was like a 7 out of 10. So it was, it was okay, but it wasn't great. Also, the game, once the game was released, they were hoping to make more DLC. But of course, services were cut off. On later, in those platforms, and outside of that, the cast of characters were too small. Because of the short amount of episodes this adaptation had. That's why I felt like it was a better action adventure game rather than a Musu style game. If we could go over the characters real quick. Let's see, go to gallery. So go to characters. So you got non-playable. And majority of the non-playable guys, they're copy and paste, type of characters that you fight. So, that's why it's pointless, except for this dude. But yeah, see, these are all non-playables, and then this is just a list of playable characters. Some of them you don't get to almost at the end of the game. But what I like about this game, the positive thing that I always say about this game is if you never got into the manga or the anime and you just did a random pickup, you'll basically pay $50 or whatever the original price was for a game that not only that you could play, but you'll be able to watch a lot of the anime scenes based on the TV show, the anime show, and they're very lengthy cutscenes. They basically almost show you like a good chunk of the episode. What they'll do is they'll summarize pretty much each episode and into every stage that you clear, and then it's pretty much a Legend of Arslan for Dummies type of game. And for those who are huge fans like I am, it's a cool recap tool, and also you get to enjoy some gameplay. But like I said, the game should have been more of an action adventure game, like a beat 'em up game, kind of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance or the Grand Blue Fantasy that just came out. Something that's co-op or single player rather than just a Musu hack and slash. Games like Fire Emblem Warriors make sense. Even Hyrule Warriors makes sense, and stuff like its own standalone game, the Persona 5 Strikers, that works out because I felt even that game was more simplified, but this game wasn't. So I'll show you a preview of the game. What else? See, in free mode, you can select the scenario. Yeah, you got story mode, encyclopedia, online mode, which is pretty much useless because they shut down that server. You got the encyclopedia, tells you all about the characters, the battles that you have during the game. They have the terminology, basically a glossary of all the titles and of different people in the game. Arslan is trying to become, the Shah. They have his home country of his kingdom of Pars that he's trying to liberate. So it's all pretty good stuff. They have even a timeline of the series or what's been going on. So for people that are into this series and people who are new to the series, you'll be able to jump right in and see what the game is about. The sad thing is about this game is, as much as I don't like the actual gameplay, in terms of like I said, like the lack of people that you fight in the game, in terms of like more characters like NPCs or more people that you can unlock in the game, because the anime is so short-lived, and also there's 20 issues of the manga based on this adaptation. So if you haven't checked out the manga, check it out. So I just felt like there was a lack of depth in the game. Now it's a way better game than what do you call it, Berserk. Now Berserk, the Berserk game that had the Warriors game, when you play as Guts and his crew of people, that was a great adaptation, but at the same time, a lot of the levels were copy and paste, and you're pretty much facing the same type of enemies everywhere you go. So, it was suffering from the same issue like this game, where yes, you have a lot of characters that are from your army, but you also have not so much enemies in the game. And for guys who follow the Berserk series, like the enemies in the the enemy characters in that series or the game is not a long list of characters. Yes, you have different scenarios where you fight certain armies of enemies and all that jazz, but like I said, that's another game also that should have been an action adventure game rather than just a Musu game. So let's check this out. Game settings. Yeah, play. So in this game you also get skill cards. You can synthesize. You can sell cards if you have multiple. If you have multiple inferior cards that you need. To tell you the truth, what's really funny about this game, you don't need any of these cards. Like, you could just hack and slash your way through everything. It's pretty much pointless to have skills. Even when you level up, you'll be able to unlock different weapons. So what I don't like about this game either is when you become a certain level, or you have different weapons like a bow or a spear, and it's one of those things where a lot of the characters, when they level up a certain threshold, they don't. I mean, they should just stick to the weapon that they originally have, rather than switching weapons. I wish it was kind of like, the old school Dynasty Warriors, like Dynasty Warriors 3. Every time you level up and get a new weapon, there's other ways to just, up the difficulty. And, you just want to find a better upgrade for yourself and, just have better stats. And also like the true Musu rage art. So I felt this game could have done a lot more. It's better if I just show you guys. Right now I'm using Hymns. He's he's basically the main villain of the series. This guy's pretty much broken. The funny thing is, by the time you get to the middle and the end of the game, you keep having more boss fights with him, and it becomes pretty, pointless. Like I said, it's one of those things where if they're gonna just follow the manga in the anime, they just might as well have just made this an action adventure game rather than a Warriors game. Now, if this game had multiple seasons, then they should have made a Musu game, but it doesn't. Like, a game that deserves its own Musu game is, obviously, the One Piece series. They had like 4 pirate warriors. Naruto or Boruto. They should have their own series of Warriors games. Would have been a lot cooler. I would have got behind that. The cool thing I like about this game is every time you see this blue aura, you can create a event where you do a charge attack with your army. And if you do this, you guys get to really massacre people. Now the whole point is for you to get to the end and create a cutscene. That didn't work. You could try that again. And plus, all these little treasure chests, they only hold health or SP Musu meter, which is pretty much pointless because you could just build that up on your own. Then every time you level up in this game easily, it restores your health and I think also your Musu gauge. Now, one of the most annoying things about this game is that timer. Trying to time me to speed run through the game. That's a very annoying thing to see during the story mode. Now, I get it. If you want to max out your character, that's great. And then you could try to do your little time your events out. But in reality, it's like you don't really need that the entire time. That timer, it just hurts your eyes. There you go. And like I said, picking up all these so-called cards are pointless. Now, I am gonna say though, the presentation and the anime is exactly like the anime and the manga. So when they did this, it was pretty much an amazing thing. When it was the main reason why I picked up the game. But if I knew the game was gonna be more like this, where it's kind of like one-dimensional in terms of characters and growth. And I would have probably not have gotten the game because of course the main part of buying the game and playing the game is to see how far this game can take you. You don't want to just play a minimum amount of hours and then just be like, oh, that was all. And then, once you beat the story mode, there's no additional DLC. There's no point in really playing the game because, you already being the game. There's no real point to play with all these characters. So, games like Dynasty Warriors 3, Dynasty Warriors 5, were games, even Dynasty Warriors 2, were games that you really want to invest in. Back in the day, getting those endings, representing your army. Dynasty Warriors 3 did a really good job with explaining a lot of those things about the heroes of each kingdom. They had their own endings. It's just really sad to see how far video games have fallen in terms of presentation, just like the lack of heart being put in the game. A lot of consumers getting suckered into DLC and season passes, because they realized that, hey, they could make these guys pay for extra stuff without putting in extra free content. Even today, I saw an article with the Elden Scrolls DLC that they're announcing, and of course, it's like $40. And I'm not gonna pay $40 for a DLC like that. So those were arguments I was making for back in the day. How we miss how you used to unlock end-game material. And how it mattered when you did unlock in-game material without, before DLC was around. And, shout out to Nintendo for bringing back the original Battlefront 1 and 2. I know they had that Nintendo Direct, and that was like one of the trailers. I was pretty amazed that they brought that back. I know me and a lot of friends were talking about that years ago, and I know a lot of people were not big fans of the current Battlefront games for this generation. I had no real problem with it. The only problem I had with it was just the way its multiplayer was handled. But I can tell you this much, the fact that now we're gonna be able to have multiplayer with the old school Battlefront 1 and 2, the original ones, is definitely gonna create a lot of new gameplay memories. People who have played the games before when they were younger, even younger than me, that remember the game, now they'll get to relive that stuff. New fans of the Battlefront series that probably heard of how good the original series was, they will get to enjoy a game like that. Yeah, this guy Helms, he's pretty broken. I literally did this stage with him one time, and then I was just massacring everybody, and I instantly became level 10. Look at these schmucks. Now, the actual anime, I'll tell you straight up, the anime itself, I give it 10 out of 10 because it was something fresh and something, you know, I had never seen before that I would think that would have got recreated or, you know, rebooted from its original anime. Look at this. Oh, so good. Now this game, the full game, I mean, I'm being nice because I'm a huge fan of the anime. I would say it's a 7 out of 10, just because I say the lack of depth it has. Now, if I wasn't a fan of the anime, I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. And that says a lot. If I give the anime and the manga 10 out of 10, I'm being extremely generous and modest to this game, where I could have been, you know, really mean and fucked up thinking, you know, just how bad of a poor review, how much worse it could have been. All right, so yeah, this is pretty much how you'll get your results. Look, you got some new cards. They're pretty much pointless. I mean, you saw me with this. I pretty much had what, no skill cards. It had no skill cards, and you saw me take out those guys easily. It's pretty pathetic, but he's one of the best characters in the game. He's super broken in the story mode when you fight against him. He's one of those characters that is proven in the game where, what do we call it? Well, you know, like how you have certain boss characters, like when boss characters are overpowered, and then when you get them in your party, they're pretty weak. This is the total opposite. This guy is super broken when you fight him, and then he's a pretty good character overall when you play as him. Now, if you guys are fans of the anime, you know, Alam is in here, Alfred, Jaswat, you know, Kishward, Q-Bird, you know, Farangus, Give, he's a huge fan favorite, Narcissus, and Durian, the bodyguard of Arslan himself, the main character. So, like I said, like this is pretty much your character roster, and then you go against the enemy camp of Sande and Helms, the rifle prince of Pars, who's trying to overthrow Arslan. Now, I don't want to ruin the entire anime series, but just make sure you're able to watch that. What I will do too, though, is that I'll be able to record all the cutscenes and I'll upload it, and we'll see how that goes. So everyone will be able to see like a full, you know, movie cutscene of a video, besides me just doing the campaign mode. Yeah, in this game too, you could pick up recipes. I picked up like a recipe book. You could tell I could care less about the recipes, but they do give you different stats, like, you know, maximize health, you know, defense. You get more experience points, recover special gauge, stuff like that. So, you know, if you're a person that is into an investment like this, that's great. Now, for all I know, I don't know if they're selling this game digitally on the PlayStation Store. We could check real quick. Yeah, so Let's see the PlayStation Store. Well, if it's not in the PlayStation Store, all I can tell you is that this game is a lot much harder to find unless you get it from Amazon, eBay, a local GameStop that for whatever reason is that you know, if for whatever reason if this game is on the pre-owned pile in a random GameStop, you'll be lucky to find one. But that's pretty much it. Every time you obviously finish a stage during story mode, it'll come back on free mode. You get to unlock it, so you can revisit these stages every time, all the time. Any scenario you want. You get to check out the character status, your battle record, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's all I got. So just like, comment, subscribe, and if you're a huge fan of the game, get it. You know, especially if you're a huge fan of the anime and manga, get it. If not, you can skip this. But if you're curious, I say go for it. All right, just stop capping, and like, comment, subscribe, and keep on gaming. Peace.